Okay, so for the top part of the skirt, which is this top part here, this top part here, right, front and back view. Yes, on camera, this is right side up. But for you all, that's right side up, right? So to do that part, it's a circle skirt. So this is the waist, as you were pointing out earlier, and we start out with a circle and then we cut some off to get the asymmetry. So in chapter 13 of your book, there's a circle skirt chapter, and they explain in further detail even like how to draw the radius, like I'm going to show you. And then there's a chart there where you can find your measurement, and then it'll give you your radius. But I'm going to show you how Frank is going to calculate it for me. So that's it's chapter 13 in this version of the book. That's approximately page 288. But you know, there's different versions. So what we need to start with is our, bless you, our waist arc. And we modified the bodice. So you want to take the measurement off of the modified bodice. I know some of you haven't done that yet. I will show that in a subsequent video, but just know you have to start with your modified bodice. If you use your old measurement, like from your original block, it's not going to work because you should have already manipulated it in order for it to work for this new style. So one of the things that we did was we made the waistband for this style. So this style has, oops, this style has a waistband, and the skirt is going to connect to the waistband. So I'm going to use the waistband waist arc measurement. The original dress doesn't have a side seam on the waistband, but I made a modification and I have a side seam. So I have to measure the front waist arc and the back waist arc. So I already did that, and I wrote their measurements on my pattern pieces. So I have 7 3/4 and 7 1/4. So I'm going to add those together, and I'm going to get 15, right? Then I'm going to double that. That's 30. Then I'm going to subtract 1. And again, all these instructions are in the book. I'm going to subtract 1 because this piece is going to be circular. So there are quadrants that are on the bias, and so it's going to stretch. Therefore, I'm going to subtract 1, so I get 29. We can look it up in the book to find the radius, or Frank has a calculator, and so he got my radius of 4.615. And in the book, on page 290 something, 290 exactly, 29 gives me 4 5/8. And what does yours say? 4.615. So 5/8 is 625. So it rounded up a little. That's fine.
What are you explaining?
How to draft the skirt, the top part.
The one you did last class?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
No. Thank you. Oh, I thought you wanted to see the next part, how to get the outer edge, no?
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay.
Okay.
So, I have a piece of dot paper that is as wide as it is long. So the dot paper, let me make it stop wrinkling for a second. The dot paper is 48 inches wide. I should have a rectangle that's 48 by 48. So I'm going to fold it in 4. So I'm going to fold it in half this way, and then I'm going to fold it in half this way. Someone told me that's hot dog hamburger. So I ironed it. I ironed it because it was curling in the direction that I was curling up like this, and I can't work under those conditions. So I ironed it so that it would lay flat.
Can I use this real quick?
I'm going to use it in just a minute.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I'm going to use it in just a sec. You can use the tape measure method, you can use a string, you can use a piece of paper. Yeah. Yeah. And again, all this is in the circle chapter of the textbook. We're doing a full circle. We're going to chop it up and add seam allowance later. So in the book it talks about
So
as you're drafting the
is
circle.
it kind of like how we draft the flounce?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is exactly that. So 4 5/8 was my radius. I have this cool tool here. In the book it talks about using a tape measure. So I could, this end is better. I could measure my 4 5/8. So if I stick my pencil in that hole on my tape measure, I could measure from there and figure out where 4 5/8 is. So I'm looking at the ruler for my 4 5/8 and just finding that spot on the tape measure. And then I could stick a tack or a push pin through the tape measure and then stick that push pin in the corner and use my pencil to draw the circle. So I'm just using this as a compass. So this is pointy. So this distance is 4 5/8. I can stick my pencil in here and I can draw my circle, right? Yeah.
And it has to be on the corner where you stick your pencil.
If you want the measurement to be accurate, yes. If you want it to fit, yes. So I also bought this tool. It calculates your radius for you. And I can scoot my point to the prescribed spot and then scoot my, let me do this side. It's easier for me to read. 4 5/8.
And then to find the radius, we just take the waist arc and then multiply that by 2, then subtract 1.
For the ease, correct. And then you can either look it up in the chart or use a circle calculator, or you can do your circle geometry, 2 pi r. So now I'm drawing a circle with a 4 5/8 radius because that's what I needed for my measurement. Yours will be different. So that gives me my waist. Now I am going to decide myself where the center front and center back are. Let me put this on for a sec so I don't stab. So I need to find center front, center back, right side seam, and left side seam. And right now I'm just going to choose them myself. So I could call this center front. I can call the exact opposite over here. Could be center back. And then if this is center front, then this is going to be the right. And this is going to be the left. I didn't bring my stapler over here, but I highly recommend a couple of staples to hold this together. I'm just going to cut out my waist, which currently has no seam allowance on it. We will have to add it later. And then I'm going to pretend to find this corner later, but I think it's easier to see on camera if I cut this out. So you don't have to cut it out. But I think it's going to be easier to see when I do the next thing if that's cut out. So this is center back because I said so. This is center front because I said so. And because that's center front, this is the left, and the other side is the right. So now what I'm going to do is create that weird outer shape. I measured the dress, and from center front, I measure down 7 inches. and make a mark.
we all using the 7-inch?
What other, like if you were gonna choose a different measurement, how would you determine it?
Wait, where did you do the 7 inches?
Center front, 7 inches. So I picked it because I measured the dress and I'm trying to emulate the dress, but I need it to fit my block. So the back, it's 8 inches. So the 8 inches from center back waist, 7 inches from center front. And then get my sketch out. The dress is over there, but so
So 7 from 7 in front, 8 to center back.
yes. I'm gonna flip it over this way.
On both sides.
I'm sorry?
You're measuring that on both sides.
Yeah. So center front. This is the wearer's right. This distance is 18 on the right. So from that 7-inch mark, get something long here. This will work. So from that 7-inch mark at center front, I'm just going to square a line across. And from the center back line, I'm just going to square a line across. So that one was 8 inches. I'm going to open it up to make sure that I'm not doing anything weird. Yeah. So.
How long is that one?
When all is said and done, it's going to be 18 inches, which is the next step. So I'm going to pretend that corner that I cut out is still here, right? I'm going to pretend that's still here. And I'm going to use the table. You can see that, right? There's a crease in the table. So I'm going to use the table to tell me where it is. And I'll put that there so it's easier to see. But I'm pretending that my corner is still here. So I have several tools. So this guy isn't going to be long enough because from here I need it to be 18. So it's 18 plus, for me, 18 plus 4 5/8, and this just isn't that long. This is only 18. So I have this longer ruler that I can use with this tool. Or again, I can use the tape measure, or I got another cool thing, which you like put this here, put your pencil in here, figure out where your thing is, and then use that. So the tape measure method, that's the one I've used the most in my life. Since I've discovered all these circles and these Alexander McQueen dresses, I keep buying new fun gadgets. but for forever, the tape measures worked fine. But I have these gadgets, so let's play. So I'll put this guy on here. I'll put him on 1 just because. Let's see. Oh no, he's my pencil. You'll go down there. This is my pointy part.
When we do it, could we like do it before cutting out the center?
Yes, yes. Most definitely. So I want my radius, this part here, plus 18. Right where I put that mark right there when I measured down 18 inches, that's where I want my circle to be.
Didn't we measure 7 inches then?
That's for the center front.
And we're doing center back now.
No, we're doing the right side.
Which is just the flip of center front, like just flipped over.
Sure. Point to your center front. And then point to your right side. On your body. So that's my hem for that side. This is my hem for this part. Now I have to figure out how to create my hem for this side. So what I did was I just kind of tilted the paper. So I want a circle that is, this is going to be in my way. That's going to be in my way. Make sure nothing's in the way down here. So you'll still have your corner on yours, right? I want a circle that is from center. I'll just use this for a sec so you can see where my center is, because I think that would be really hard to see on camera. So from center, I need a circle that in back is 8 inches. I'm gonna have to move those paper scissors too. And back is 8 inches, but I'm gonna have to move my paper because I'm gonna hit that. But in the front is 7, right? So what I did was I just shifted my paper. So I can do this actually. Instead of shifting my paper, I can do this. Shift that to there. And then if I put this on the other side of this, I should get my 8. Almost. I think that's because this isn't straight. So let's give that a try. There we go. Oops. Okay. So move you. Get you where you're supposed to be. Will you go? Okay, I'm gonna use my short one. So I'm running into my camera stand. I think this shorter one's gonna be long enough to do what I need. So I'll use this to find my center. No, I had it on this side, right?
So center front is 7 inches, and center back is 8.
Correct. No, that's not how I did it.
No, this is the right side we're looking at.
What do you mean by that? Like right, left?
This is center front.
No, this
Oh no, that's the left.
Yes.
Okay. So it'd be opposite. If we were looking at it, then it would be opposite.
Center
Or
front, center back. Center front is 7 inches and center back is 8.
Looking at what?
like if we're looking at it like forward, it would be like opposite from one.
So this is center front. So if
Yeah.
I turn my body this way, this
It'd
is
be
center
the
front.
left,
Yeah, and yeah, that's the left.
So it'd be on our right hand side.
Yes, like if you're facing it, yeah, head on. So
How do they meet if one is 7 and one is 8?
7 inches down from here.
that's what I'm trying to figure out an explanation for.
And then here you want to go 8 inches to take it over.
So what I did before was I tilted the paper, but right now my brain just thought it saw something easier. So I'm trying to,
Could we also maybe like, so this is 7, this is 8. Can we plot a point there in the center that's 7.5, and then just
yes. So yeah, you could, so right now I have, let me do it this way. I think my brain liked this. I think this is what I was thinking would work. If I do that. No, that makes it longer. What I did before was I just tilted the paper. But basically, so we can think of it this way. We have this, and we have this, and we want them to blend. And yes, I like your idea of doing 7.5, so we'll do that. And then we'll just blend the 3. So that's to there. And then do 7.5. But that's not how I did it before. 7.5. 7. I just tilted my paper and made it match. Actually, this one doesn't look right. It looks too small because they shouldn't be that far apart.
yeah, show the edge.
Yeah. So I drew this circle incorrectly. This is what I get for trying to like process a new thing right on, like while I'm on camera. There we go. And then we could do one that's 7.5. And then blend the 3. So right about there. So there's that, there's that. But then it would have to be something else. But anyway, what I did was I just tilted the paper. So I got one of them. This is neither now. And then I just shifted the paper for that part to get it to match. Because basically I'm just trying to blend the 2 different circles so that they meet somewhere near there. It doesn't have to be exactly there. So I went like part of the way and then tilted the paper. Get right on and then tilt it. Oops. I should go get a cork board, or I'm trying to do it on camera. Here, when I was doing it off camera, I was over here in this crack, so I was able to tilt it. Also, a cork board would help, but I'm trying to figure out how to make it work on camera, and I just can't. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. That helps. And then how would I tilt that with the thing on top? Right?
Maybe on the other side, put the ruler on the other side, it might not.
But I still can't
No,
draw.
I mean
through.
like, the ruler backwards.
The-
No.
The corner is helping
Yeah.
me though. So, in order to get this to meet there, you guys pull the paper. Like pull that corner towards you.
This one?
Gently, yeah. Pull it towards you. This way.
Oh.
Now I lost my center, but that's what I did. Oh, now I broke my tip. So I had this over the 8, and then
Oh.
tilted the paper until it hit. But now the camera thing is in the way. You see it over there?
Yeah.
So I pulled it until it hit the 7. Once it hit the 7, then I was able to draw it. And I'm nailing the 8 down with my thumb. Let me pull that over on camera. So I'm nailing the 8 down with my thumb there and tipping this until it hits my radius.
Instead of like drawing an actual line though, can we just like put a little point at 7.5 just as a reference, like to cross it when we tilt it?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a number of ways to do it. I'm sure what they did was using something like Tukatek and then blending, which would be similar to like Adobe, and then blending their, like blending the lines electronically. But yeah, essentially I just tilted the paper. So I figured out where this radius was and then brought it over here, tilted the paper until it touched my pencil, and then drew the whole thing. That's how I did it. So I will figure out, like, when I'll go on a table where I don't have these camera legs in my way and probably get a cork board and I'll be able to do it. But unfortunately, this camera was not set up for this kind of thing. But 8-inch, 7-inch, blend. And that's the skirt part.
So basically, as long